have anything open that shouldn't be, but
Okay.
should be fine. Anyway, yeah, so basically they would like to take the menu here and kind of reorganize and remove some options that are less frequently used into groups. So we've got switch to, explore, and your dashboards. There are some mock-ups here from, I think there's just screenshots of Figma, I think. You can see the bold header thing here. So I've been looking at it looks like code that you touched like 18 months ago or something that generates all this. It's just kind of a JSON blob that's fed to the front end. Do you, I guess I was going to ask for your advice on how you would approach changing the code that's there to do this without, I don't rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah.
I see you have like a primary and secondary kind of bucket of I guess menu items that get added to here. I think the secondary was just used for like the admin
Stuff at
panel.
the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of just breaking that down further into buckets for each of these headers, perhaps.
Yeah. So
the front end.
the intent the intent with the way we set it up was that the backend had all the information for when we want to hide and show these things.
Right.
So let's let the backend build that model, but let's let it build it in such a way that it's actually helpful to the view. So it's like, so I would classify this as a view model. So it doesn't have to be like a like very denormalized state thing. It's like, this is a presentation model that we're just going to give to the view. So we could put these things in buckets, but maybe we also just want to have just an array where we also have a type that's a header type, like something, we have a header. I mean, I don't know how we want to, I don't know how we want to view these, but maybe we don't view this as from the view model perspective. Maybe we don't view this as some sort of tree. It's just a list where there's these like dividers.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I'm not sure how it currently works. I mean, does it currently just read it in order and place the menus and the options in the same order that they're given? Yeah. So what we would be doing is kind of like taking an array and collating, is that the right word? Just organizing them by some sub property before rendering.
I think that's an option. I was even thinking even simpler than that. So like the suggestion I would give is like, let's try to have the front end do as little as possible.
Okay.
And so what if the back end, what if that array where it was getting where we had a list of like primary menu items, I guess. What if that list actually took two types of objects? It took a menu item, but then it also took a header. And so the front end will just...
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
The front end
so the header would be its own item in the array.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like that sounds like just the simplest for the front end's perspective. Yeah,
no, that makes sense. As long as, I mean, might have to reorder some things in the back end. I'm not sure if they changed that, but otherwise, yeah, I think that would be fine. Another thing, I'm not sure if they accounted for all of the possible options in this design. Now that I'm looking at it, I know there's some that are kind of conditionally hidden, like the geo options.
Yeah,
and obviously the admin stuff.
There's a lot of options there. Yeah,
and I'm not sure. I probably presume that goes under your dashboards, or maybe just at the bottom under a divider, like it probably is now. But yeah.
Hi all. Would be super cool thinking of it, would be super cool if we had like a backend feature flag that we can set in development to just show all options, right? Like so that the designers would be able to see it.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
And with the view model approach, like it could be actually pretty straightforward to just, comment out all the conditionals. That's kind of what I found. I think if I remember correctly, I found myself doing when I needed to test the layout
rather than staging a whole geo instance and all that. Yeah.
I guess if I really wanted to, I could say, hey, I'm blocked until Zach Cuddy can test this out because he's the only geo guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about IP. Is the approach taken with this was to try to keep as much of the logic out of the view. And since the backend houses all the data for making the conditionals, let's also just let the backend create a view model that makes the front end's job really easy. And so the easiest thing I could view, the easiest way I can,
here. Sorry.
Okay. The easiest way I can see this happening is rather than actually creating a view model that has some sort of nesting structure.
Yeah.
Let's just create one flat list, but in the list we have separators.
Type.
Yeah, we say here's the header type, here's the item type, and that just sounds the easiest to me. But
and so you would, for example, have the backend also, you have it fully tested, like conditionally, like if you're not logged in, you don't get the thing and so on, right? Like
yeah.
There's a separate like build anonymous menu for when you're not logged in that just outputs the simple one. Doesn't look like anything's changing on that. If I can find the design for it.
I always can you go to the design you just had? I'm always a little confused,
This is the
yeah, this is the
sorry, which one that I did? This one?
Explore. Wait, can you go back one?
The simple one, this one?
Yeah, this is, for example, funny, right? Like in anonymous, Explore has projects, groups, and snippets, and when you go back logged in, it is switch to projects and groups, right?
Yeah.
So like that is
weird.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, and yeah. If you're logged in, you're probably not going to be exploring as much. If you do, I suppose it's this view all projects would do the equivalent of clicking that unsigned in button.
Yes.
And I know from looking at the code, each of these is conditionally rendered based on some if statements. I'm not sure, is it possible for all three of them to be false and this menu to be just empty?
For anonymous, it's not. I'm pretty sure.
It's not. Okay. I didn't dig deep enough to check, but I know you can disable snippets. I wasn't sure if you could disable exploring projects and groups.
It's just our self-managed GitLab instance is only admin pages. It's there's no project groups or snippets. You can just visit the admin page. The other thing I'm not seeing in these designs is the responsive menu. So one of the big wins of doing this view model approach also means we use the exact same model for building the responsive presentation.
Oh, you mean the mobile view?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's touched on. I imagine we'll be leaving that alone for the purposes of this, and I'm not sure if adding these headers is going to conflict with that. I know the responsive menu is generated. Is it generated by the same Ruby class, or is it a separate?
Yeah,
thing?
It's the same. It's the same view model. And so if we went with the approach of a flat list with a type, we would just ignore them. We just
ignore the types. Yeah.
That'd be easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds simple enough.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we look at some code? I would really just some code.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's just do it.
Let's do it. Let me close out of all the stuff I have open here. Actually, this might be where we need to be.
So here
is
we would
this the
probably
DE?
do something like add primary menu separator or something like this, right?
Yeah, so we have add primary menu item, we'll add primary menu header, maybe. That'd be,
Yeah.
or where's this defined? This is in the builder.
The other one.
The other one? Oh,
Top
this one?
Yeah, there it
Yes.
has.
Yes.
All right.
I know the menu builder. You're right. The menu builder. Obviously, it's defined in both.
Yeah,
Because-
this doesn't make this doesn't make any sense. Who wrote this?
I mean, Paul. It's recorded. I'm not going to make the joke that I wanted to make. I will
Oh.
make it privately in Slack.
Thank you. Why you make it publicly in Slack?
I can make it publicly in Slack. No worries.
Yeah, but keep it safe.
I don't suppose we need any, what am I thinking here? So they're all gonna go to the primary bucket, right?
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah.
There was I'm gonna try to jog my memory on what the difference between
As I understand it, secondary is just everything below this dividing
Yes.
line.
yes.
I
and I'm
thought
not-
secondary stuff is the stuff that's on the right-hand side in view all projects.
That's what I was thinking at first. I could be wrong. Let's just see where add secondary item is used. So it's used for admin dashboard, leave admin mode.
Okay, if you're makes sense. Mhm.
And what's this? Create new project. Is that right? So is so
Oh,
does the
shoot. The sub
okay,
menu
so
is they're using the same model.
yeah, okay, so this is the secondary of this menu. Is that how that works?
That's how it works. Yeah, the left-hand side and the right-hand side are both menus.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why there's a separation of it. The view model is the root, but then within there, menus can show up within views, or we have the root menu too. So that's the
Oh, now I'm super confused.
situation. But I would say like top nav menu item. If you go to that,
Project submenu. Yeah, now it makes sense. Yeah, okay.
if you go to the top nav menu item class,
Uh-huh.
we probably just want to throw a type in there.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I imagine we want to throw a type, which is like item. I don't know.
Could just be header boolean true false or something.
Well, and
Wait, isn't one a link? Isn't one like an action or a link? Could we name it action or link? And the other one is, I don't know, heading.
yeah, I would say
Yeah, I mean, there are a million ways to skin this cat, which I'm fine with whatever.
item sounds, and it's also that mirrors its class name too. Like maybe item works for right now. The item.
But I thought that item is basically the superset of headings and an action, for example.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So should I have type? Well, I don't know, because it is a menu.
Wait, isn't would you want
option?
to say item is a superset of it? I've kind of vision item is going to be the actual item, like because it has an href. Headers don't have an href.
Okay, understood.
So like then I would just say, and we don't even need a separate class for the header. Let's just throw a hash that just says type header text. I mean, we can do a class if we really want to. We did this for being, I don't think we need to take in type. I think this is just going to have the type. Yeah. I would leave it.
Okay. So we'll create a separate class that just.
We can create a separate class, or you can just throw a new hash around. A separate class is nice because then you have a little bit of, we can have some sort of type safety consistency thing.
Yeah, makes sense. Just duplicate file option in here.
Yeah, and maybe like top nav header. Yeah, that works. That looks good.
Should I leave out menu or?
No,
menu is a good idea because we've been calling it menu the rest of the the rest of the place.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this thing probably doesn't have active because right?
I think
Like,
it just takes text. I think that's the only thing we
Yeah.
see on line.
just-
maybe
just title.
QA selectors and CSS classes aren't too bad.
Yeah. What is view used for?
Items open up views sometimes. So instead of linking, they'll open up that right-hand side view.
Okay.
Okay. Right.
So much is left undocumented here. Sorry, amigos.
Emoji? Why is there an emoji?
Sometimes items smile at you, man. I don't know. I'm not.
Is that just another way of saying icon?
What is the emoji? What was that used for?
Is
Oh
this
no,
the
it's the left.
emoji?
Yes. That's the emoji. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Why does it say emoji? That doesn't make any sense. Why does it say emoji?
Yeah.
Should just
We
be an
also
icon.
had icon. We just deleted the icon.
Okay, so that can't be it. No, why does it
Did we?
say emoji?
Yeah, we
That's
did.
such a good question. I gotta get to the bottom of that. Why does it say emoji? What is that about? That's so weird.
I don't know.
Are we even using new drop down?
Let's see, emoji used here.
Oh gosh. Oh, that's so funny. So this view model is also used for the. This is also used for the new drop down. We don't use emojis in the top nav menu, but in the plus button menu where you do the new drop down, that's where an emoji will actually condition show up based on some sort of like experiment we were running, which is why we added it. Yep, there's the emoji.
The invite members emoji, little handshake. Okay. Well.
It's really important.
All right. Well, we solved that riddle. We don't need it in headers, I imagine, so I'll just remove it.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be title, and we don't need ID either. I really think it's going to be just type, header, and title.
No QA selectors or data attributes. I mean, we'll add that back in if we need it, I suppose. All right. So this title and active since here. All right.
And we can get rid of
no ID either.
Yeah.
So if this is going to be serialized, is the how is it called? Is the symbol? It's a symbol, right? Is the symbol going to be changed to a string?
Yeah, they get stringified.
Okay, good.
95%.
So it's literally going to say header as a string.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. I guess we could find out. But I guess I could just make it a string here. Anyway,
that's fine.
So the top, what I think we'd want to have here, yes, add primary menu header. Yes.
You need to create a private method. If you go back.
Sorry, losing track of where I am. Yeah. So this. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was thinking that was in the subclass or the builder class, whatever the class is. Add menu header.
Yeah. And I think we'll still take dest because at least that's what we were doing because or it's always.
I was just hard code primary, but it doesn't hurt to.
I think that makes sense. Yeah. However we want to do it.
Wait, I'm putting that in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
All right.
And then line 39 will change the top nav menu header.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Now we got to make sure that everything that iterates through these items understands what happens when it hits a header. And yeah, now that you mentioned, this is also built with the same JSON blob, I presume. Is there any other menu that's generated in this way that I need to make sure we're not breaking?
How is the header done here?
That's a freaking good question. That's a good question. Is it the same? Maybe it's the same. I don't know.
Where is this generated?
You can go to I think it's new drop down. Yeah, new drop down HTML YAML. It has the leading underscore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Section fetch. What are sections?
Menu
Model,
sections.
sections.
Menu sections.
View model, fetch, menu sections.
The new drop down view model.
That's it.
I mean, so it's generated in the same builder then.
This is
What
doing
was what property are we looking at here? Menu sections. Menu sections, show headers equals menu sections length.
Yeah, if you have more than one section, you get the headers, like if group or project, right?
Okay, yeah.
So
go back to the new drop down helper, please. It's in the far right.
Yeah.
So we create these menu sections. And menu sections is we have menu items. If you scroll down to the bottom of the group section, we have a title and menu items. Maybe we want to.
Why would you like this one?
Maybe we want to just do this. So now that I'm thinking about it, this was done this way because we were not anticipating needing to refactor the top net, the new drop down, but for some reason we needed to. I don't remember that reason. And I took the similar approach if I wanted the front end to have as little change as possible. And so I made the view model this way because the front end was already built like this. And so it was easy for me to just plug in the new view model and not worry about messing with the front end too much. We could decide to do this for the top nav, but I'm still going to say maybe not because all the front end is not built around this like nested menu item stuff, including the responsive view. So I still think the header thing we're going to do might be more preferable because that'll require less changes on the front end. We can decide to do this menu item way if we want to, but I'm not sure if we
don't, we might want to refactor this to use the same paradigm we're using for the other menu, so we don't have two competing ways to do the same thing that are both implemented in our top nav.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, well, maybe we do need to do this because are we cool with like how semantic do we want to get with ULs? Like if we don't have it nested, then it's all going to be one UL, including the headers, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It would be useful to like loop in Jeremy or somebody to talk about the accessibility of doing either option. I'm not sure if it will change much, but
I mean, the rendering, the thing is, how do we want the data? I think flat data with the heading is good because in the end, you still could change the rendering to render multiple ULs. Like, hey, if you encounter a heading, close existing UL, start a new UL, right? Like, you could do that as well. And I'm a proponent of flat data. I potentially would refactor the right-hand side to be flat data as well, right?
yeah, I think that makes sense. Either way, I think these should both be, rendered from the back end in the same way, just for consistency's sake. So maybe we go with what we were talking about, or what we were in the middle of implementing here with the flat headers, and I'll create a separate issue to go back and kind of refactor this to use that same method.
Yeah, I like that idea of like we can transform a flat structure into a nested structure. We could do the reverse too, but I think that's a cool idea. So cool. So we're still
Continuing.
flat
Flat. Yeah.
is the way to go.
Yeah. Flat is the
Flat
way
is
to go.
in. All right. Where was I here? So why does this say it's changed? All right. We got the type that we added. This is simple. So I guess the reason we were exploring that originally was to make sure that we won't break anything by adding. I don't think we would be.
I mean, in the end, the whole thing is just an array, right? It gets rendered to JSON, and it has like a little bit of types, right?
Yeah, and it's not going to include any of the headers in that one since we're only adding it to this one. So
yeah,
shouldn't get choked up or confused.
So here's the other here's the I think the remaining challenge, because what we can do is, now that we have that interface on the top nav menu header, right? Or sorry, if we go back to our builders, if we go to the menu builder,
you could
just do probably a fuzzy file find for. Okay, so we have primary menu header. That's great. If we go to the view model, the top nav view model builder.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll want to yes, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Header.
Yeah, that feels like a code smell, but I'm not gonna worry about it.
I would copy the comment that is in line 16 and 17 above line 12, or move it, not copy. Yeah,
that's a good idea. So the way I see this being used, one of the benefits you get with the menu items approach is I can tell, does this section have no items, therefore don't create the header, like just remove the whole thing.
Yeah.
In this case, when we go to that helper, the top nav helper, I have an idea for how to fix this, but if we go to the top nav helper,
we'll have to have convoluted if statements or something.
No, not necessarily. Like, one thing that we could do is we could create a private helper function here that adds the section header, right? And we just call it in each of the if conditionals, and basically just add it once, kind of thing.
So what I was thinking, that's an interesting idea. I was thinking potentially something maybe less performant, but maybe more
going back
more elegant would be, let's just always add the header, and at the very end we'll clean up headers that don't have items following them, and you can actually
that's yeah, then okay, you mean like if a heading is followed by another heading, you would remove the first heading,
or if it's the last thing in the list.
Yeah. So as long if it doesn't have an item after it, you remove it. So like we always add it, but then when we do the .build on the, and so we can actually encapsulate this on the menu, the top nav menu builder, on that builder's build method. That's when we can do that header cleanup step. That's one approach. I have reservations because it's a weird after processing thing to do, but it does make interfacing with it simpler. We don't have to do all these conditionals.
What if we just add it every time and we have a thing that checks that you don't add it twice?
Like you add it, we like create a set of the title is what you're thinking? And if you've added the title twice, that's maybe makes
sense. I could just look at the most recent item that we added to the bucket and see if it is a header that matches.
Nah, then you have the problem as soon as you're in the second one, right? But
Oh yeah. That's a good point. Oh yeah, like yeah, we could do last header. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Last header. We can just keep track of the last added header. And
That's a freaking good idea. Yes, let's do it. Yes, that's such a good idea.
where would you do it? Would you do it in the builder or in the view model?
This is what's so great. Yes, this is totally a builder problem. Yes.
So let's create a private last header thing. Actually, yeah. Okay.
How do we win it?
You would probably keep track of the last header at the bottom there. Like an add menu header, you would probably deal with it, right?
Yeah. So
do you know what's so cool? We actually can get rid of this would be so sweet. We can get rid of that public method for add primary menu header. Let's just accept an argument of what is the header title from where we're adding a menu item.
Right.
And let's just do this behind the scenes. Like let's encapsulate all of that. So you could do spread args. Let's go ahead and leave that private method. But on line 12, we could do header colon comma spread args on line 12. So let's get the header.
I'm sorry, on line 12, do what?
On line 12, let's pull the header from the arg and then comma spread args or splat args or double splat. Yeah. So if the header equals the last header, we don't need to do anything, right?
Yeah, and how do you compare? Because the header, the header's
it's just a string at the moment, right? It would just be a string.
Last header.
But we also have to check the truthiness of header. If header and header equals last header or something.
Yeah, someone can fix this in review.
Parens necessary. Yeah, I can clean that up later. My Ruby syntax is a little bit of rusty.
So,
so
let me check on some things downstairs. Be right back.
Okay, line 13. No, add primary menu header.
Do I need to do at the end of an if?
Oh, I think you wanted to get rid of add primary menu header. I think we just
that's what we were talking about, and then Paula told me to put it back in there. So
can you copy all the code from line 13 to line 17?
Yeah.
Yes, and then yes. Cool.
So okay. Yeah, so that's
and it
still
should,
the same.
It should be not equals.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Header and header is not equal to the last header.
Then we don't need to split args, I think. We just need to give it header, like add menu header. We just give it dest and header, right?
Right. Do I need to go header equals header like that?
I don't know. Just do it.
I think so.
We'll fix it later. And then probably you either can do it in a private method or you just do it here that you add last header equals whatever, right?
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Is there more? Is that it? Is it that simple? Let's try. So what's something that's always rendered here?
Environments.
Milestones or environments. Yeah. So environments should be under dashboard title.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens. I have
probably nothing. It should probably error out.
I mean, nothing will happen, but it will actually. I had some code just dumping the JSON blob. So actually, where is it? Here we go. So I'm just gonna do a console log here to dump what we're seeing.
Cool.
Missing keyword header.
Ah, okay. So we need to. It's missing from some, so we need to make it optional.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Sorry, which top nav menu builder? So blah blah blah.
So how do we make it optional?
Oh, right. So these now need to have. Well, let's see. These need to have type. Oh, wait, no. Type is implied by the class.
Can just add a star after the header.
I'm sorry, where?
Line 12 after header. Just add a star. Line 12.
Line 12. Oh, is that
yeah
a star?
Directly after the argument.
Directly after the argument, right here.
I don't know if I don't know if the colon is necessary. I think that's probably because of the destructuring thingy, right?
Oh wait, yeah. Are we just passing it as an unnamed property? Wait, what? Oh, what am I doing?
So it's complaining that that header doesn't exist on some other item, right? And rather than adding header to everything, I just said, hey, we can probably use it. Split operator Ruby. So
I can just do header nil. I think you just need to provide a default for it.
Ah, default. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I haven't had enough coffee yet. All right, there we go. Now let's check the console log and make sure this all looks how we expect it to. Primary, so we got milestones. Seeing a header item here.
So do we have a header that's showing?
These are the type item is getting turned into a string, so that's
good.
Maybe we aren't destination push item. That's all happening as it should. Add menu header must just not be getting called. So add primary menu item. So we did that in here. We just kind of threw header dashboard here. Maybe this is not the right spot.
Oh, are we logged in? Oh, this is EE stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, we're logged in. You're seeing the rest of it.
Sorry?
You're seeing the rest of the. If you open your navigation, you see everything. You were definitely seeing environments before, and now it's.
Oh, now I'm looking at milestones. I'm mixing things up.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So this is. Yeah, I'm now looking at the local GDK instance, which
which is not
environments
EE.
enabled. So yeah.
You need to add no, leave it there. But we need to add header to another one, right? Like to to milestones.
Let's look. If we go to
let's go to the non-EE ones.
Yeah.
It's the helper. It's the top nav helper.
No, it's a top nav helper. Yeah, it is top nav. Oh yeah, sorry, top nav helper, not header. There we go. So milestones. So let's put something over milestones. It's just, I don't know if dashboard is correct, but I'm just going to do this to see if it works. Thinking, using keyword title again.
So yeah, we need to rename it from title to header.
Well, I think that's. I would maybe keep it. Maybe we want to, but we can keep that as title. But we just have to do that in our menu builder. If we go to our menu builder, we just got to change the way we're calling the function.
How are we calling them correctly here?
On line 41.
Line 41.
Or actually on line 14, we would do title : header.
Yes.
I'm not sure I understand. Title header?
Title : header. Yeah, in the item, not item, but in the heading, it's named title and not header. So Here we're doing the mapping, right?
Yeah. So instead of header to header, it would be title to header.
Yeah. Okay. That
The
was
field
a
is
mistake.
called title instead of header.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe
makes
that's
sense.
maybe that's confusing. Like maybe we want to call it header title everywhere, but I don't know.
All right. Now let's do our sanity check here.
There we go. There's a header.
Header dashboard.
So
Huzzah.
cool.
All
What
right, now
happens? Does the rendering just ignore it, or does it render something?
It's got to render
Good
it.
question.
Oh wow!
Actually,
Problem
almost looks correct. Yeah.
Job's done.
Job's done.
All done. Oh, that's
Cool.
funny.
It even makes it active and everything.
Look,
all right. Well,
it's
now this should be straightforward to make the front end changes necessary, and then just add the headers as appropriate.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That was a really good idea, using the builder to keep track of the last header. That's gonna be really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
All right.
I then think it'll be interesting how like styling it, not like the other li items next to it. You know, anytime we have a flat ul that has different types in it, sometimes causes
Right. Well,
can you can you show me the HTML? I'm a bit late to the party.
For
Can
this?
you just yes.
I'm sure it's written.
It's a button.
Yeah, it's got to be rendered as a button because it's trying to.
But
so
it's not even a
this
UL,
isn't a
right?
UL at all.
Oh, it isn't. Wow.
It's just a flat list. So that makes it super easy, right?
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, that should be pretty straightforward.
Please, let's fix this, get it merged, and then talk to UX about accessibility. We want to ship it this milestone and not in 5 milestones, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit, this
good
is
to me.
recorded. Oh shit, I said shit on the recording.
Let's
Oh,
go
now
back
you
and
cannot upload it to
edit
YouTube
the
anymore.
recording.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not made for kids. That seems to be the barrier. As long as it doesn't
Put the
show your kids.
It's not made for kids? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope Charlie's kids don't watch this.
Cool.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah, and maybe it'd be fun. I mean, we got a little bit more time left. Maybe we should add the conditional into the
view code.
The view code.
While I have you on here, I wanted to ask something else. I know we have we had a add menu item with shortcuts thing in here as well. I don't remember where it is.
Yeah.
Add primary menu item with shortcut. And it looks like it just adds shortcuts to its own separate bucket, and then it renders these in like a hidden UL somewhere just for our shortcuts to use. Is there a reason it was necessary to implement it that way? It just seems
that's just keeping in line with how the shortcuts. This is we don't want to touch the shortcuts code, but we're changing how we rendered these, and shortcuts were coupled to it looking like that. And so this was okay. I don't want to change how shortcuts are done, which were done in a really interesting way. So let's just move shortcuts to its own.
The way I understand it is the shortcuts look for a particular class and then just click it, right? They
yeah.
Is there any reason we couldn't apply this shortcut class to the button that gets rendered within the menu instead of having a separate, hidden link?
I believe part of it that would be ideal. For some reason that didn't work. For some reason, this was the path decided, and yes, ideally, I think it would be tied to those. But I think also there were some thinking. I feel like I feel like there were some that had visibility issues, also because think about the way the new menu works is not all menu items are available right away, and so I don't know if I don't know if like a v show versus a v if of like if you've loaded that view, because some of those are shortcuts, I think, of like viewing your starred projects, and that's going to be underneath projects. And
yeah, and also it could be that the menu was rendered in view asynchronously from JSON, so maybe those links just weren't available right on page load.
That was 100% why. Yes, that is a much more understanding why. Yes, because we don't load the top nav, we load it.
I mean, the only reason that would break something is if you're like loading the page and immediately doing a shortcut like before view has a chance to render, which seems unlikely. But maybe it was messing up our tests because the tests go so fast.
Yeah.
I just realized one downside of our approach, but it's not fixed it's not possible anyhow right now anyway. Imagine in EE if you want to add an item to the second group, for example, right? That's at the moment that's something that's like it's not
Here's possible. The EE one: environments, operations, security.
That's a secondary item. Nobody cares. But the thing is, I just wanted to call out like that in the how do you call it, in the left side nav view model, we have the possibility to add something before or after in order to make CE, EE differences easier if you want to have a certain item at a certain place. We don't need it right now, but it is a potential refactoring that even if we have a flat rendering, we might need to keep data in the view model builder in the future as kind of a non-flat data.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I think we're lucky in that I'm pretty sure all these options are coming at the end of the primary section. So,
but just imagine like someone wants explore vulnerabilities or explore like whatever, right? Like,
that'll require a little bit more doing.
I kind of like.
But that's future Mike, future Paul, and future IT problem.
So you know what though, I kind of like encapsulating this in the builder. Like, what if rather than just keeping track of the last header,
it could internally keep track of buckets of headers,
right? Or just even
items, and then just spit it out flat when it renders. This is just an implementation detail, so
right.
I don't think it's too difficult to change. Actually,
I think we could even just, at the very least, this is the least performant way, but we could simply search for the header and maybe optimizing by seeing a set of existing,
insert it,
and then just splice it at the end, like. I like thinking of that as an implementation, rather than let's change the whole model.
API.
Because the goal is keeping this front end stupid simple. And so builder is where I think that interesting logic, I like thinking about encapsulating. That's a good point though.
So do we want to change some view code?
Go for it. Should we do that, or should we add the rest of the headers where they're supposed to be?
Do it real quick. I mean, it's
so environments, operations, and security get your dashboard.
I would probably already move it to a constant.
A constant? Okay.
Yeah, and dashboards needs to be tiny, like needs to be lowercase, I think, because we use sentence case, right?
That's right. Yeah. All right. So now I'm blanking. How do I create?
It has to be in all caps, and you just do all caps.
Is there a keyword beforehand?
No.
Or just okay. Like that.
Yeah, and then we need to externalize it as well.
Externalize it.
The
translation.
Oh, right.
Underscore bracket thingy. Yep.
All right. Header equals. Is that too much?
No, that's good. I don't think we need to save those 15 bytes, 30 bytes, 45 bytes.
Environments, operations, and security. So those are all there. Geo doesn't need a header. It's in the secondary. Pending deletion. That's in the
Project
the
submenu.
Yeah, it's over here. All right, I think we're good to leave all that alone. So we just got these. Now let's go to the other top nav helper. There you are. Let's see. Milestones should be under Explore for milestone snippets and activity. And I'll just create a. How did I name it? Your dashboard. So I'll just.
There's a handful of constants already at the top of this file.
Okay.
You have exoplore.
No. Yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. Where did there you go. So milestones. Now, add primary menu item with shortcut. Is that still going to pass through this header?
Yes.
That we added?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they should.
I mean, it already passed it through with the milestone, right?
That's true.
That's right. We just tested it. Groups and projects are going to be different.
Activity as well.
That was yes, activity. All right. What else is down here? This is
Admin is secondary. Admin.
yeah, admin.
Cool.
And then we got the groups and projects submenus. All right, nothing to touch there. So just projects and groups. Go to switch to. Lord, my spelling.
So where are we doing the thing depending on whether you log in or not?
That is up above here under build anonymous view models. We got to add that as well.
No, then we have basically solved it because it has no headers, right? An anonymous one.
It does in the mockups here.
It does.
Yeah, let me find it.
One to the left. I saw no header.
Explore.
Ah,
I would probably push back on that because I think we have elsewhere maybe a pattern of not showing headers if there's not separate.
I mean, add it. The UX, we can discuss it in the MR. Add it.
I'll just be mindlessly copying what was in Figma and I'll blame it on them afterwards. But yeah, no, I'll bring that up in review. It's easy enough to take out. All right, so we already have Explore header, so just add that. Add switch to read one, just add Explore. All right, I think that's everything.
Cool. And now we see if we have a mistake in our logic, because if we have, then now like dozens of things will show up.
Right. Let's see how we're doing. It should look pretty close to what we're looking for, actually, with the switch to Explore. Not seeing any of the EE stuff, but I imagine that's going to work correctly. All right, so now we just got to edit some view code. What is this? It top nav app?
The good thing is, because we want to feature flag this poll, the feature flag we basically can do in the view code. Either we just drop showing it,
display
or
the
we
header
show
or
it,
not.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll also have to have some conditionals for hiding the options they want to hide from the subnet menu, but that'll be a second one, I think.
So this is the button, and so I think a lot of what we're going to be looking for is actually the top nav drop down menu.
Right. Yeah. Down menu. Oh, go to the. It needs to open up the actual. There we go. All right.
So somewhere has to be a V4, right?
So wherever we're referencing the primary,
No, this is the right-hand side menu, right? Like
on line 79, top nav menu sections seems to be the
Okay. Yeah. Top nav menu section. All right. Open up. Here we go. Top nav menu item. So I assume this is what renders the button, right?
Yep, sections are going to be the primary secondary split.
okay, makes sense.
Is there already a top nav menu item? Should I be differentiating the type here or in the parent?
I mean, here you can basically do VIF, right, based on the type.
So I would do it.
Well, I could have done it outside of that.
I would do it outside of it. I would do it outside of it.
You sure?
We did something similar in the back, just to keep some sort of like symmetry with how the backend model is. Like we have top nav menu header, top nav menu item.
So this would be V.
But the problem is then you need to do the for loop with outside with a template thingy, right?
Menu item.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? This is
Because the loop on the actual items is happening on the top nav menu item.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's fine.
Oh,
that's fine.
Oops.
I guess
it's a V. This is a nested V4.
You need to wrap the whole thing in a template.
Yep. All right, I got it. V4. Well, sure. I'll just copy this actually.
I guess we have to add the keys for those.
No, the key you need to add it on the individual items.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I would. In that case, it might make sense. Well,
sorry, what?
All right. Now,
can I?
I'm sensing that
not an ID. Right. Just do menu item title header.
Yeah, there is no ID. So yeah.
Title. Title is unique because you can't have the same heading twice, right?
Makes sense. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we don't actually stop anyone from doing it, but it shouldn't happen in practice.
And even then, it's just a performance thing and not.
Yeah, I don't think it'll matter. So I still need a VIF. VIF type equals menu item dot type equals header. Does that look right?
Yeah.
And then this will just be
VLs.
Yes.
Can you instead of creating a new component just use like a strong tag for now so that we see that it works?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we probably don't even need
I mean, now that we're looking at this, I do think that that's probably a good idea to
do it inside of the other component.
Yeah, or at least, or even consider creating that's the other component we make is some sort of like menu item presenter or something.
Oh, please don't. Paul, we're already 5 components deep. Like, we don't need to overcomplicate things.
Let's see how many we have. We only have 6 top nav components. I think we can have 7 or 8. Jeez.
Cool.
Let's just see what this looks like. Oh, it's already updated. So.
Nice. Oh, that is, I think, exactly what it was supposed to look like. Yeah.
Maybe a little change in the margin indentation here, but otherwise.
But even those changes are just marginal, right? Like.
Oh Jesus.
Exactly.
Stop it.
Yeah. Padding, I guess, that's what needs some.
Yeah.
I think after this, we can also padding ourselves on the back, right?
Stop it. No more. Too early for this.
Oh man. Can we see what happens with the responsive menu?
Good question. Probably
Nothing, because it's a
nothing.
different component, right?
I assume
It probably
does just-
renders them as
no,
well.
It
We
does.
just need to ignore them.
Yeah, so we would just do some sort of like
If you
flag
go,
on
yeah,
the
if-
view section.
if you
the
just like
responsive
menu,
using the same view component.
If you
Or-
go, do you see there's responsive app? If you go back to the components, there's the top nav entry point, the main one, and then there's
Mhm.
if you go to your file tree, there's responsive app is the other entry.
Oh, yeah.
This is likely using top nav,
container view.
which uses
Menu sections.
which is
Okay.
probably going to use this.
You just need to pipe a prop 7 components down. It's fine.
Yeah.
Or even provide like even if you
I'll
wanna
probably
do-
just use provide.
That's
the
fine.
easiest.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah, no, that's pretty straightforward. Actually, this doesn't look terrible, but yeah, it's just that's not included in the mockup. Let's not touch it.
I mean, it's not included in the mockup because they probably are not aware that the responsive view exists. I think this could also be a quick ping. Right? I mean, this could also be a ping on the MR, but I think, hey Nick, look, we have the responsive view. Should we add the groups? Yes or no? It's not like that you don't have enough horizontal space, right? Vertical space. Like, I don't know, enough space to show the groups there as well, right? And at least this makes it consistent because, I don't know.
Is admin supposed to be at the bottom?
Yes, I think, but that's also just styling issue, right?
Then in the mockup, that's how they have it too. So it looks like that's consistent here.
Well, I mean, is it supposed to be like pushed to the bottom? Like, is that?
Oh,
how it was?
I mean, like
Or
this
is that
should be
just,
all the way like vertically aligned to the bottom.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think the height is lower because also the 5 items are removed, right? Like
there were a bunch of things here that they
and
removed.
on the right hand side, we're not pushing to the bottom, so I don't
Getting rid of all this.
assume that. I don't know.
Okay.
If you go to the mockup, you can see that view all projects is not pushed to the bottom.
Yeah, no.
That makes sense. Okay.
Well, this is good. I think I can probably take it from here and clean it up and put together a merge request. But yeah, I appreciate. Wow, it's been over an hour already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah. Thanks for working on it. Feel free to change it up however you want. Yeah, it clearly could use some levels of loving. But I'm glad that we found a solution that's pretty straightforward and isn't changing so much. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, basically it's not very destructive, right? It just adds things. So yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I think they wanted this all behind a feature flag as well. So this is going to be conditional in both the responsive design and the regular one. So
I think probably the condition right now would be like super easy because you would just need to do the GL on whatever feature flag pushing, and then you could just have a look that your that you could just have a look in the component where we had added in the loop added the VIF, right? You could just render it conditionally there as well. So
yeah, that's probably would be a computed filtering out the headers.
Yeah.
Anyways, cool. Thanks everybody.
Cool. Good stuff.
All right.
Adios.
See you later.
Bye bye.